Welcome to a very special edition of the Northern Arizona Wranglers Roundup. My name is James Poovey, play-by-play voice of the Northern Arizona Wranglers, alongside my color analyst, Mr. Ed Cole. Ed, are you ready to finally get into this 2022 season? We're going to talk with a couple of very special guys here tonight, new players for this Northern Arizona Wranglers team.
James, we are 1 month away from the season opener in Henderson, Nevada against the Nighthawks. I am so excited, and I know this young man we're getting ready to talk to. He's excited to get his career going on with the Northern Arizona Wranglers. So without further ado, let's go ahead and bring Mr. Jones in.
Let's do. Ulric Jones joining us here. We appreciate your time this evening. New defensive lineman for the Northern Arizona Wranglers. Now, we were talking to you a little bit, Ulric, off air, and I said, what am I going to put in here for the title? Are you a three technique? Do you play a head up, nose guard type of thing? And you said, just put down defensive lineman. I can play it all, and that's exactly what we want to hear.
Of course. That's what I do.
Well, Ulric, welcome to the Wranglers. Just walk us through the whole process of you becoming a member of the Wranglers organization. How did this all come about? And how excited are you to get this thing going in 1 month from now against the Nighthawks in Vegas?
Well, for me, this time go around, it was very, very stressful because I had to cut ties with a lot of close bonds that I built with different teams and different programs, but I'm now at the point in my career to where now it's all about making the best decision for myself. I've done it so long to where I've always, put the benefits of other players and other coaches ahead of myself. But now I'm in the frame to where now it's strictly my decisions on what's going to benefit me in the long run. So Coach hit me up. I think I was considering going somewhere else in the IFL. I was done with the NAL completely because that Ironman rules it completely drew me off. And then, he called me and, we talked, and he was one of the only coaches I would say that consistently called me every day or every other day just to check in, see how I was. And one thing that always drew me to him is he didn't just ask about how was football. He asked about, well, how's life? How's your family? How's this? How's that? How's things going with you mentally? And for me, stuff like that plays a big part in where I want to be. So I felt like that was the best fit on where I needed to be. And it just felt like right timing, right place, right decision. So
we are extremely excited to have you as a part of our ball club here with the Northern Arizona Wranglers. You grew up in the South. We talked about it off air as well. Ohatchee, I believe you said it was, or Ohatchee, Alabama. Talk about growing up there, what that was like, and then you discovered football kind of in the latter stages of high school, right around 11th grade, I believe it was. How did that come about? And then you played basketball as well, I understand.
Right. So the way that it is, I grew up in Ohatchee. As a little country town, and so we grew up wrestling animals and swinging from trees and all types of stuff like that. Then I started to get more involved in the little local basketball teams, and they realized that I had some serious talent to do it. So, Ohatchee's a small town, so we was going for exposure. So then I transferred over to another school, which was the school that my dad went to, which is Alexandria High School. It's literally right across the highway. And, this was around my 9th grade year. And, I came in the 9th grade year and I was already, varsity level. Like I was playing at a really high level at a young age. And we was just like, well, we see a future in it for you. So we're going to climb the charts. We're going to try to go somewhere with more exposures. And Oxford's right down the road, which is the 6A, one of the biggest schools in the state of Alabama. So it's like, man, we're gonna bring you to Oxford and see how you can compete with these guys who compete at the highest level. Because at that point in time, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Quan Alexander, Bobby McCain, Trey Elson, all those guys were Oxford high school graduates. So, them guys did a good job of, feathering me over there, and then I got there. I played there at a high level, and we had a coach, Coach Gross, who's actually a coach at Clemson now, one of the defensive analysts, and he called me after one of the basketball scrimmages and was like, "Man, have you ever thought about playing football?" I was just like, yeah, but I'm a hooper. And he looked at me. He said, "Man, you got some big feet." I was like, "What that got?" He said, "Look, come by my office next Monday. We'll try you out some cleats. We have our they was doing the 7-on-7 and the O-line D-line workouts at that point in time because it was in the summer. I went out there like a deer in headlights, but I caught on quick. So I was naturally aggressive, and that's something that you can't really coach is toughness and being aggressive. Like you can coach technique, you can coach all that, but as far as being tough and aggressive, that was one thing that I had that stood out over players who was already there for years. So it basically just transitioned into, hey man, you're a football player now. So, when basketball's over, you come here. When football's over, you go to basketball. So I myself was the only player on that team that would literally leave from football practice to go right to basketball practice. So I was doing both at the same time. So,
Ulric, I'm sorry.
I said, no, that's just how that played out.
How do you think your experience with basketball served you when it comes to football? Did playing the sport of basketball, did it make you much better of a football player, knowing you had those different kind of skills that translate to a basketball court as opposed to a football field?
Definitely. I was actually talking with my basketball coach about this like a couple of days ago because they were postseason play, and we were just talking. We was like, man, when you came here, you was an athlete, but your hips was stiff as I don't know what.
You got to have those loose hips on the D line, my man. You got to be like Elvis up there.
Right. Naturally playing basketball, of course, it's just natural movements, and with doing defensive slides and transitions and all types of jumping movements, and you have to do all that specific work on those specific areas in the hips, which help loosen them up a lot. And I would say it also gave me a sense of being in shape year round because basketball and football shapes are two different shapes. So transitioning from one to the other is very difficult unless you're going from basketball to football. Then you're just in better shape than everybody.
Now, Ulric, how much do you think being a two-sport athlete played into your recruiting and allowing you to be able to be recruited to a very good school like South Carolina?
Well, what a lot of people don't know is I actually had scholarships to play both ways in college.
As we take a look at your highlights here as we continue to talk.
What's this? Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, you got the dog in there. That's right out of high school too. Look how good I look.
Yeah, running flat down the line of scrimmage right there. I like it.
That's where the basketball comes in. Give you that speed. There you go. Look at you.
Head up on that tackle too. I like that.
One thing about me is when I'm coming to hit, I'm coming to hit. I'm not shying away from nothing.
We can see that. Look at him,
just
Jay.
Relentless pursuit right there, Ed.
Just vicious.
That's what you want. You talk about the dog. That's what we talk about it all the time in the game of football, Ulric. A lot of teams have 1, 2, maybe 3 dogs. The more dogs you have on your team, the better off you're going to be because you're going to have some guys that really live and breathe and bleed the game of football.
Right. And that's one thing I've always to separate me from a lot of people. Since I started playing so late, I was never the most athletic, talented person on the field ever. But one thing that always separated me from everybody that I played with or against is I was always going to make myself tougher than anybody I played.
It really is about that attitude and that toughness, right? That it really does separates the men from the boys when it comes down to it, the attitude and the desire and the will to go after somebody and do whatever it takes to bring that person down with the football.
Right. And I'm trying to do it in the worst way possible.
You're out there with what we like to say bad intentions. Am I right?
Of course.
What's your favorite part about playing defensive line? I had the pleasure of coaching defensive line in high school, and I love the position. It's all attitude, and you have to really you have to line up across from the other guy and say, we're going to do this all night long. I'm going to win some, I'm going to lose some, but I'm going to win more than I'm going to lose, right?
Yeah, the best part about it is you get to beat somebody up and not get in trouble about it.
Right. Exactly. You can't do that when you get older, right, Ed?
Exactly. So your time at South Carolina, of course, that's I heard you say this in another interview. It is the NFL of college football, playing in the SEC. My goodness, how did that get you prepared for your time that you would spend in the NFL with the Seahawks and then the Panthers, and then your time in the AAF and the NAL, and of course the XFL, and of course right here now with the Indoor Football League. How did your time at South Carolina with the Gamecocks get you prepared for pro football?
I would honestly say the game of the SEC is a lot faster than the NFL itself. Because if you think about it, a lot of teams in the SEC are up-tempo teams. Everybody wants to be fast-paced. Everybody wants to run a high amount of plays. When you transition in the NFL, everything slows down. Everything's in the huddle. You got TV timeouts. You got all these long little whatever they do on commercial breaks. And it's just like you go from going a million miles an hour to it slowing down, which is a nice transition because it teaches you how to be able to play at both paces of the game. But, when you have your typical pro-style offense that's going to go in huddle every play, that's an extra 20, 30 seconds to catch your breath versus playing a team like Missouri who's going to run 16, 20 plays a drive.
The SEC is definitely the stiffest competition in college football, without a doubt. A couple other conferences might make a claim to that, but it's tried and true there in the SEC with schools like South Carolina, Alabama. I could go on and on. Talk a little bit about your experience. Yeah, Georgia as well, the current national champions, the Bulldogs. Talk about your experience with the Columbus Lions and how that was in the National Arena League, and then what you know about the Indoor Football League that you're about to play in for the first time, and what may be the differences there, Ulric?
My experience in Columbus was great, man. Shouts out to Columbus Lions and everything they helped me accomplish and, teach me the game and being able to elevate in the indoor level. But, when I got released from Carolina and I ended up going to the XFL and XFL folded, I just took on a mindset of like, all right, wherever I land next, I'm taking over completely. I'm not settling for nothing less. I'm not being behind nobody. I'm not taking second place. I'm not taking second string. I'm not taking nothing, because when I got cut from the Panthers, I took that with a big chip on my shoulder, because I knew from us doing rookie mini camp and no OTAs, there was nobody out there who was better than I was. So they brought in a guy goes by the name of Jerry McCoy, who we all know. And it was just like, the next place I get, they're going to feel how I feel, because I'm not taking that no more. And I went in with a mindset that I don't care what it is, who it is, I'm taking over. I made post after post after post. I made statement after statement after statement on what I was finna do. I told many people, look, I'm finna single-handedly take over the NAL, and check the stat sheets. I told them.
Oh, we see the production here. I mean, you had 8 sacks, 12 TFLs on the season, 2 fumble recoveries, pass breakups aplenty, solo tackles, 31 total tackles. I mean, you got it done, and now we're the beneficiaries of having you as a part of the Northern Arizona Wranglers, and I feel you can really do some damage inside that Finley Toyota Center this coming season.
I look forward to it, man. I've watched a couple of games on YouTube, and it's it looks like a very exciting place to play. And I'm all for new opportunities and opening new chapters in my life, and I just feel like it's going to be a good fit for me. I got a good feeling about the season, and I'm excited to go. This is also one of the best off seasons I've ever had.
As far as just being in preparation and so forth?
Yeah, as far as prepping, training, taking care of my body. You know, I put a lot more emphasis making sure I'm all right mentally because I
Yes.
went through a lot here recently that, you know, it's just it put a dent on my mindset. So I had to do a lot of counseling, a lot of therapy to make sure that I was straight up top. But you know, I've been very productive, so I have no complaints about it.
That's good. Eric, we are so excited to have you up here, and we're going to get training camp going in a couple of weeks up there at the Pinnacle Bank Field at Finlay Toyota Center, and we cannot wait to get this thing started. Have you had a chance to talk to Coach Moss and Coach Keefe and the other coaches on the staff and kind of get a feel for them, and you kind of chop it up a little bit with them, and they get to know you a little bit?
Yeah, I actually talked to Coach Moss. I would say maybe 2 weeks ago, and you know, he was just telling me how excited he was, and you know, he expects me to come in and be an immediate leader just because of the experience that I have in this game, and you know, just come in with the fire, the energy, the excitement that he knows that I play with and bring it and set the tone early so we can get it started. Because, like you said, we're less than a month away, so.
Well, Ulric, thank you so much for your time tonight. We really appreciate you joining us and allowing us to introduce you to the Wranglers Nation. We can't wait to see what you do on the field up there at the Finlay Toyota Center on Pinnacle Bank Field. And we're going to have a great time here in 2022, and we can't wait to see you dominate people inside that building. It's going to be a great time.
I appreciate you guys for having me.
Ulric Jones, new Wranglers defensive lineman, going to show out for you next month, starting on March the 18th up in Henderson, Nevada against the Vegas Nighthawks. Thanks again for joining us, Ulric. We appreciate your time, and we can't wait to meet you in person here in just a few short weeks. Have a great evening.
Thank you. Y'all do the same.
Thanks, Ulric.